part 2 of our pink bird brooch tutorial. In the previous video, we introduced the material and prepared the base. Now we are going to add beads, finish the brooch, and get it ready for trimming. In the next video, we'll do the backing and edging to complete whole sparkling bird brooch. Since I'm using the pink materials, I want to paint the pattern in pink. You can do this step before sewing the outlines. For this step, I'm using this acrylic marker. I start by stitching on the larger beads, such as pearls and rhinestones. I draw the pearl pattern using heat erasable pen to mark where I want to sew the pearls. I thread my needle and make a small knot at the end. I make a stitch in the middle of the pattern to secure the knot. Now I bring my needle up and add size 4 pearl. These are Swarovski pearls, and go down through the felt. I repeat this process 2 or 3 times to make sure my pearl is secure. Bring my needle up, go through the pearl, and then go back down to the felt. The last time I bring my needle up right next to the pearl and go through the pearl bead, and now I add size 6 pearl bead. Sorry. Okay, now I go down through the felt. And again, repeat this process 2 or 3 times. And this time I'm adding size 8 pearl bead. Now I place it and go down through the felt. Bring my needle up, go through the pearl bead and go down through the felt. The last time I bring my needle up, go through the pearl bead and add the size 6 pearl bead. I repeat this process 2 or 3 times to make sure the pearl is secure. It's better not to let your thread be too short. Okay. I have to make a small knot at the back of the felt. Okay, and my thread is too short. I have to cut it right here. I make a knot at the back of it. Since my thread was too short, I want to go through all the pearls again and make a tag stitch between them. Bring my needle up and go through the pearls. go into the felt. Now I make a tag stitch between the pearls. I make a small knot at the back of the felt. Now I'm going to sew the rhinestones. Actually, I use these sew-on claw rhinestones which have holes to stitch onto the felt or fabric. Okay, I apply a small amount of glue to the back of the claw. And place it where I want to sew it. After the glue dries, I stitch the claw onto the felt. I bring my needle up, pass it through the holes, it's not completely dry, and then go back down into the felt. I repeat this process 2 or 3 times to make sure my rhinestone is completely secure. Bring my needle up, pass it through the holes, and go back down into the felt. And make a small knot at the back of the felt. I repeat the same process for the other rhinestone. Apply a small amount of glue to the back of the rhinestone. This is a marquise. And place it to where I want to sew it. I sewed the marquise rhinestone. I've actually listed all the materials in the description. Now I want to move on to the next step, filling the tail and the feather with the bugle beads. I bring my needle up from the corner and add the bugle bead. And then go back down into the felt. I repeat the same process. I bring my needle up, go through the bugle bead, and add another bugle bead. And then go back down into the felt. Go through the bugle bead and add another one. Okay. You see this space? I cannot fill this space with the bugle bead, so I use my mix of milky beads. For example, I add this kind of bead. It's large, a smaller one. Mm, I think this one is okay. Repeat twice to make sure my bead is secure. And cut off the excess thread. The last row. Now I'm going to sew the buccal beads onto the feather. Sorry if I don't pronounce it perfectly. I'm starting at the corner for the best result. Make a stitch in the middle of the pattern. Bring my needle up at the corner of the feather and add the bugle beads. And then go back down onto the felt, into the felt. Again, bring my needle up, go through the bugle bead, and add another one. My thread is short, I have to make a small knot at the back of the felt and change my thread. No, in making embellished brooches, you have to pay attention to the details for great work. But I think it's okay. I add another small seed bead for this empty space. I think this one is, oh, it's big. This one is okay. Make a tag stitch between the two beads. Okay, and again for this, I bring my needle up, add a beautiful bead, deep bead. Oh my god. Since my thread broke, I have to resew the beads. So I thread my needle, and in this time I use this transparent thread. I think it's stronger than cotton thread, and I resew the beads. Mm. Okay, oh my god, what happens now? I don't want to cut the video because these are the argues that you will face during the making brooches, and you have to know how to deal with them. Okay, I make a small knot at the back of the felt using this thread, and again I sew the beads, the last beads, because I want to make sure my beads are completely secure. Oh, I cut the extra. I make double knot at the back of the felt, and I cut the excess thread right here. But I resew the beads. Okay. I hope you see this transparent thread. Okay. I make a stitch in the middle of the pattern. I resew all these beads. These. I bring my needle up, go through all the beads I sewed. It's let me use my piler. And these two beads. For these empty spaces, I use these mix of milky beads. I finished the tail and feather using bugle beads and a mix of milky beads. Now I'm going to work on a body using cut bugle beads. The stitching method is the same as the one I used for tail and feather, but since I want to use different colors, I draw the boundaries using heat erasable pen. Okay, I bring my needle up at the bead and then go back down into felt. I repeat this step twice to make sure my bead is secure in place. Add another bead and repeat the same process. I've finished the bird's body brooch with cut bugle beads and now it's ready for trimming. One important tip when trimming the pattern is to keep your scissors vertical and not angle the blades, otherwise you may cut the thread. check both sides to make sure your thread is secure. Now the applique is ready to become a complete brooch in the next video. Stay with me.